Okay, hello. This is obviously very different from what the podcast of sorts usually looks like. Um, and that is because yesterday, the 30th of September, I tried uploading a straightforward audio file to YouTube and it would not accept said audio file. So I am resorting to video. And I've already done a test video where I just kind of tried it out. I don't think I'll upload it. It's just me talking to myself about trying the audio and making sure it works. But it worked. It uploaded and it processed, which was the part that was giving me the most trouble. So now we're here. Um, I do want to dive back into what I talked about in the last video. Um, being the one that I did not upload, that would not upload. So this is technically episode 8.5 because it's still the same topic of 8, but now now you get to see my face, which is pretty rad. It just means I can't stare at random objects on my desk anymore. And now you can see all this stuff in my background and my hand movements, which I hope aren't too distracting. This is not ideal for me. I would rather do a no video podcast, um, but desperate measures. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into what I talked about, which I know you have no context for. So, I'll kind of lay down what we talked about, or what I talked about. Uh, Yesterday, the 30th of September, I talked about mental health and affirmations. I mostly wanted to do it, so I caught myself staring at something else again. It's really just random stuff on my desk. I've got a copy of Oscar Wilde here, or a portrait of Dorian Gray. Um, but now I can see myself getting distracted, so that's not good. But we talked about mental health and affirmations, and I really wanted it to focus on reassurance and affirmations and kind of giving some guided meditations. I guess you could put it. It really was just a reminder for me, mostly, but also if you were to get something out of it, I'd be pretty stoked about that. Um, Talked about just kind of different ways of self care and how mental illness is not, or mental health rather, is not black or white. You know, you're not all terrible, you're not all great all the time. Um, you have good days, you have good moments, you have good minutes, you have good hours, um, you know, and that's okay. I went on to kind of give some guided affirmations, which included how proud I am of you and how I love you and how the simple act of clicking on this video, whether intended or not, is something to be proud of, I guess. Now let's take a step back. I kind of gave like a Cliff Notes version, and it doesn't have the same impact as it did in the last video. So I'll try and like re-emulate. So yesterday I wasn't doing too well mentally, and I made the podcast of sorts number 8 to kind of give myself some much needed affirmations. And if you are also in that space, whether that's today, the 1st of October, or it's any other day, um, feel free to come back and listen to this many times. The podcast of sorts is not meant to be a one and done kind of thing. If you feel like it is, none taken. I understand completely. I don't typically re-listen to podcasts just because they're so long. Hopefully you didn't hear that car. It's a busy street. But the podcast of sorts is kind of whatever you want to make it. You want to listen to it multiple times, just once. I understand. My intent is to make things. That's it. So, I've been beating around the bush a lot. My affirmations for you and for myself are as follows. You matter. You are important. You are loved, if not by anyone you can name, at least by me. I know I may not know you, but the fact that you clicked on my video says that, you know, there's a reason you're here. People who wouldn't want to listen to me wouldn't click on this video, I guess. Um, I don't know. It seems really trivial, I know. But I do love you, and I appreciate you being here and listening to me. Not that I'm some authority, but just the fact that we're hanging out, it just happens to be one-sided. But also, you know, my affirmation from yesterday was self-care. If you need to take a bath, a shower, distance yourself from social media, take time away to be with yourself, read a book, watch a movie, a TV show, engage in hobbies, then by all means, go for that. On the other hand, um, if you also need just a slight push, to get something done, it can also be really stressful having stuff um, build up, you know? So if you are looking for a small push in the right direction, take 5, 10 minutes to kind of help yourself. Today I've got to do some readings, and while I'd rather lay in bed and try and catch a mental break, I do have some stuff to do. So I'm going to take some time to do those. And thankfully they're not due today or tomorrow, so I have time to kind of take my pace with them. But that's kind of the advice I would also give you is take the time to get the stuff done that is giving you stress. It's really not easy, I know. Sometimes it's hard just to even get out of bed or take a shower. But it all starts with small steps. So if you need that little affirmation today to get something done, and set a timer. 20 minutes is a pretty decent amount of time, I would say. But if you need something less, start with 5 to 10. See how you feel. And I wish I could give more tailored advice to each of you specifically, no matter how many of you listen, be it 1 or 10 or hundreds. But I can't because it's a monologue. So I just kind of try to give the most advice I can within a broad spectrum. And if you feel like some of the stuff I've said isn't applicable to your situation, then I understand. Mental illness, like I said, mental health is a fluid matter, and sometimes you need really specific stuff. So don't be afraid to reach out to people. That's a message to myself as well. Because it's scary. And you may not want people to worry about you, but worrying about someone is not a bad thing. It's not wrong to ask. In fact, it's something you deserve. You deserve to be cared for and looked after and worried about. Worry has such a negative connotation because it kind of implies stress. You worry me. You're stressing me out. It's not true. I mean, if people use it in that connotation that worry means stress, then they're not very nice. Because it is a pleasure to worry about people, which is really weird to say. Like, why would I want to worry about someone? And I think it kind of goes into how you want to care about someone and you love someone. And love is not always easy. Love is not always this unshakable thing that is positive. Not that it's negative, but, worry is not one of those things people kind of like gravitate towards. Is this making sense? Like I want to worry about you. You're my friend. You are my family member. You are my loved one. I want to worry about you. And that's because I care. Um, so in this instance, worry is a good thing. It means that you care. Um, so don't be afraid to ask people to check in or to vent or to kind of relieve some of that stress because they care and they will worry. This is my affirmations. The three big ones are, take time for yourself if you need it. Slow down, take a bath, take a shower. I use those interchangeably. I have a combo bath shower, so it's like I can do both. But if you don't have a shower or a bath, I think most people have showers, but not a bath. Um, then do one of the two is what I'm saying essentially. I just like baths; they're nice. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes my mental health just isn't good enough for me to relax. But when it's nice, it's nice. Um, the second affirmation being, if you have something that you're stressed out over, take some time to work on it. If it's a homework assignment, it's cleaning your room, cleaning your house, taking care of something, taking care of your pet, or anything. You name it that you need to get taken care of. Take some time to do that. I know not all tasks can be fit into these 5 to 10 minute increments, but if there's a way that you can like ease that stress off your shoulders, then I would promote that. Um, I think it would really help. Not always easy or doable, I understand, but it is sometimes the best course of action. And then the third one is reach out. Um, sometimes this kind of falls into one of the other two categories, but I made it separate just to distinguish it. Reach out, vent, talk, hang out. It's 2020. It's a little hard to hang out right now. But hopefully, when you're watching this, it is easier to hang out. And if not, the powers of technology, man. Skype, Discord, FaceTime, phone calls, text messages, social media. Um, if you're watching this YouTube video, you could rewatch it and just sit here and hang out with me. I don't know. It's just the little things. Sometimes watching YouTube videos can really help me out too, especially ones that are more positive and comedic. Um, I like to watch Let's Plays just because I like to play games. And usually they're games that I would not play myself or I would not have the opportunity, so I just enjoy it. So if that's maybe something you can do, go for it. I didn't really have any, as you know, I don't really have anything planned for these episodes, but I'm actually running a little early. I like to think 20 minutes is a decent amount of time. It gives me enough time to kind of talk about what I want to talk about and allows for tangents, which I stayed pretty on par. I think that's because I'm looking into the camera. I have to be more accountable for my thoughts. Not that I'm not accountable for my thoughts when I'm not paying attention, but like, um, I'm here. I am. This conversation is what I'm tuned into. If I look at my Dorian Gray copy, I'm going to get distracted because I'm going to be thinking about something else. Not in a bad way, just get sidetracked. That is my alarm. Hopefully you didn't hear that. Forgot it was going to go off. But point in case, I looked at my phone and like 1,000 different thoughts went through my head. All of them normal. Just, oh, this is my class alarm. I told my mom the wrong time for my class, so she thinks I'm in class right now, but I'm not. I have class at 11. So it's like, whoops. So I get distracted if I have other things. So I think this might be a better approach. We'll see. It is weird, I will admit, looking at myself and talking. My phone went off again. Technology these days. But This is kind of my test run-ish. Um, I'm hoping it goes well and it comes across well. I've been pretty deliberate about hand movements and body movements. I'm trying to fix my posture at the same time. This is major sidetrack. We've kind of moved on from mental health. I'm just kind of giving you kind of the behind the scenes, I guess. Um, it's different. It's really strange. I really liked no video because I may have mentioned this in this video or in the one that I made as a test. I can't distinguish the two because practically the same, same setup, same everything. Um, but I did no video because I didn't want you, the viewer, to be distracted by what I'm distracted by, or facial movements, or editing. What am I wearing? It's a Disney t-shirt. You can't really see that. It says Disney California Adventure. Um, Nothing wrong with face cam, but my intent was to have kind of a meditative, peaceful place to kind of zone out in a good way. But now you can see my face, and you can see what I'm looking at, or you can see what I'm getting distracted by. And you can tell that I'm taking pauses more obviously. So really I just preferred no video because it kept it just as a podcast, just as an audio format, just as a way for you and me to talk. You can turn it on, leave it on in the background. You don't have to worry about editing or anything, or I don't know, anything that could happen in the background. Nothing's going to happen back here because there's no one in here besides me. So that's kind of the cons of webcam. But the pro is you can kind of get a better read on my expressions and hand movements. You can get a better tell of what I'm trying to communicate. Um, so I don't know. It's 50-50. But that is kind of the only way I was able to upload. I'm hoping that this video uploads. It's going to be a doozy because it's going to be obviously 15 minutes plus. So it's probably going to take a while to upload, so I won't know if it works right away, but I'm really hoping it uploads. And if you're seeing this, and it did upload, I'm very happy. But yeah, it's kind of all I really wanted to go over. Is the lost episode is now what we'll refer to it as. I'm sure I'll forget that name, but I like it. In the lost episode, just the mental health and the affirmations, and kind of just the obvious update that I'm now doing video, which is kind of pushing me to do more editing. But I personally think jump cuts can be pretty distracting. It's just so obvious sometimes. And it's nothing against people who use them. Just for me, I get really distracted, as you can tell. So having someone, I get distracted. Yeah. I don't know what is going to happen going forward with these episodes. I'm going to continue to produce them to the best of my abilities. But yeah, you've seen my upload schedule. It's interesting. But I would like to continue doing this because it's fun. It's something different. I would like to mold it a little bit better, refine it, because it's obviously not so much a podcast anymore. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I did sign off the last episode with my slogan, so I will continue that tradition until I think of something different, if it merits that. This has been different, and I hope you enjoyed, Um, I do. I do hope you enjoyed and got something out of it. I didn't talk about mental health as much as I did in the last episode, um, but I did my best. So, with all that said, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for sticking around so long. This has been a podcast of sorts, and I am your host of sorts. Signing off. Bye.